Listen closely. On August 13th and 14th, a rare celestial alignment awakens an ancient feminine power that has been dormant within you. Venus, the planet governing love, beauty, and social harmony, forms a perfect trine with black moon Lilith, the astrological point representing your wild, untamed feminine essence. This is not just another planetary transit. This is the return of a primal magic that our ancestors understood but modern society has forgotten. The cosmic dance between Venus and Lilith creates an alchemical fusion of grace and ferocity, charm and rebellion, invitation and boundary. For too long, you have been forced to choose between being loved and being powerful, between being accepted and being authentic. This transit dissolves that false choice forever. You are about to discover that your greatest magnetism lies not in perfection or people-pleasing, but in the dangerous beauty of your complete truth. Venus represents everything our culture teaches us about feminine appeal. She is diplomatic, agreeable, beautiful, and socially graceful. She knows how to say the right thing, wear the right outfit, and make others comfortable. Venus builds bridges, creates harmony, and seeks connection above all else. When Venus energy flows through you, people are drawn to your warmth, your beauty, and your ability to make them feel special and understood. But Venus alone creates a trap. Without the counterbalance of fierce authenticity, Venus energy becomes people-pleasing, boundary-crossing, and self-abandoning. You become so focused on being liked that you forget who you actually are. You smile when you want to scream, you say yes when your soul demands no, and you shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for your full magnificence. This is where Black Moon Lilith enters the story. Lilith is not a planet, but an astrological point that represents the lunar apogee, the farthest point of the moon's orbit from Earth. In mythology and astrology, Lilith embodies the aspect of feminine power that refuses to be controlled, diminished, or domesticated. She is your primal instincts, your uncompromising truth, your refusal to apologize for taking up space in the world. Lilith energy is raw, honest, and sovereignly self-contained. She does not need anyone's approval to feel worthy. She speaks difficult truths without softening them for comfort. She sets boundaries like walls of fire that no one dares cross. She finds power in her darkness, beauty in her wildness, and strength in her refusal to conform to expectations that diminish her essence. But Lilith alone can become isolating. Without the social grace of Venus, Lilith energy can push people away with its intensity. It can become bitter from rejection, aggressive in its defensiveness, and lonely in its fierce independence. Many people who have been hurt learn to operate primarily from wounded Lilith energy, building walls so high that authentic connection becomes impossible. The magic of August 13th and 14th lies in the perfect harmony between these two forces. The trine aspect in astrology represents effortless flow, natural talent, and harmonious integration. When Venus trines Lilith, you gain access to a power that most people never discover, the ability to be simultaneously graceful and fierce, inviting and unshakable, charming and authentically wild. This integration creates what ancient cultures understood as sacred feminine power. You become a woman who can enter any room with Venus grace, but who carries Lilith fire in her eyes. You can speak with diplomatic elegance while never compromising your truth. You can be warm and inviting while maintaining boundaries that are absolutely non-negotiable. You become dangerously magnetic because you embody the full spectrum of feminine power. The effects of this transit are already beginning to manifest in your life, and recognizing these signs will help you consciously work with this powerful energy. The first sign is a sudden shift in how you see yourself, particularly your physical appearance and your desires. You might look in the mirror and instead of focusing on perceived flaws, you see power, uniqueness, and a wild beauty that cannot be categorized or controlled. This is not vanity or delusion. This is your perception clearing of the distorted filters that society has placed over your self-image. For years, you have seen yourself through the eyes of others, constantly asking what they will think, what they will approve of, what will make them comfortable. The Venus-Lilith trine dissolves this external validation system. Suddenly, you see yourself through your own eyes, and what you see is magnificent. Features you once considered flaws become marks of character and power. The scar becomes a symbol of survival. The curve becomes a celebration of feminine form. The intensity in your eyes becomes a window to your soul's fire. You stop trying to look like everyone else and start appreciating the fierce uniqueness that is yours alone. Simultaneously, desires you have suppressed as selfish or inappropriate begin to feel perfectly valid. The Venus-Lilith energy gives you permission to want what you want without justification or apology. You might find yourself craving experiences, relationships, or opportunities that your old self would have deemed too bold, too much, or too risky. This is your authentic desire nature awakening from its slumber. The second sign manifests in your communication style. You develop what can only be called the charm of raw truth. This is the ability to speak difficult truths, set firm boundaries, and express unpopular opinions in a way that somehow makes people lean in rather than pull away. It is Venus diplomacy infused with Lilith authenticity, creating a communication style that is both magnetic and uncompromising. In practical terms, this might sound like telling your boss, "I deeply appreciate this opportunity, and I want to contribute to the team's success. At the same time, my skills and experience require compensation that reflects their value. I am confident we can find an arrangement that honors both the company's needs and my worth." Notice how this communication validates the relationship Venus while firmly establishing non-negotiable boundaries Lilith. Or in personal relationships, you might say, "I love spending time with you and I value our connection. I also need you to understand that when I say no to something, I need that boundary to be respected without argument or manipulation." This actually makes our relationship stronger because you get the real me, not a resentful version who says yes when she means no. This style of communication is incredibly powerful because it eliminates the usual defensive responses people have to boundary setting. When you lead with genuine appreciation and connection Venus before establishing your limits Lilith, people feel honored rather than attacked. They are much more likely to respect your boundaries because they feel your respect for them. The third sign appears in how the world responds to your shifted energy. Your internal transformation creates a new magnetic field around you, and this field attracts and repels in very specific ways. You will notice increased attention from others, but not the shallow attention that comes from people-pleasing or performance. This is the deep attention that comes from authentic power. Strangers might hold eye contact longer, offer unexpected compliments, or seem drawn to your energy in elevators, coffee shops, or meetings. People begin listening more intently when you speak because your words carry the weight of truth rather than the emptiness of saying what you think others want to hear. Your opinions matter more because they come from a genuine place rather than a calculated one. Equally important, you will notice that certain people become uncomfortable with your new energy. Those who benefited from your old need to please, your previous boundaryless availability, or your former self-diminishment will feel threatened by your transformation. This is not a problem to be solved, but a natural consequence of your evolution. When you stop being available for unequal power dynamics, those dynamics must either evolve or dissolve. People who related to you primarily through your insecurities, your need for approval, or your willingness to shrink will find your new self-possessed energy challenging. Their discomfort is not about you. It is about their inability to relate to someone who no longer needs their validation or accepts their disrespect. This natural filtering process is one of the most valuable gifts of the Venus-Lilith integration. Your new magnetic field automatically attracts people who can appreciate your full authenticity while repelling those who require your diminishment to feel comfortable. Trust this process completely. What leaves was never meant for your highest good, and what stays or arrives will be worthy of your integrated power. To fully embody this cosmic gift, you must move beyond intellectual understanding into physical and energetic practice. The Venus-Lilith integration is not something you think about, it is something you become. These practices will help you anchor this powerful energy into your daily reality. The first practice involves mastering what can be called the sovereign gaze. Eye contact is the fastest way to communicate your energy, and the integrated Venus-Lilith gaze creates a magnetic paradox that draws people in while establishing your unshakable center. Begin practicing in front of a mirror. Start by activating your Venus energy. Soften your facial muscles. Allow a subtle smile to play at the corners of your mouth, and let your eyes communicate warmth and openness. This is the gaze that says, I am receptive, I am gracious, I am pleasant to be around. Now, without losing that warmth, activate your Lilith energy. Feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Straighten your spine as if wearing an invisible crown, and look directly into your own eyes with complete self-recognition. This is the gaze that says, I know exactly who I am, I know my worth, and I need nothing from you to feel complete. The magic happens when you hold both energies simultaneously. Your eyes become warm and inviting Venus while also being steady and self-contained Lilith. This creates a fascinating contradiction that people find irresistible. You appear approachable and friendly, yet there is something about you that suggests you are not desperate for their approval or attention. Practice this integrated gaze in low-stakes situations first. Try it with cashiers, servers, or colleagues during brief interactions. Notice how people respond differently to you when your gaze communicates both warmth and self-possession. You will find that people are more respectful, more attentive, and often more drawn to engage with you. The second practice focuses on developing what can be called graceful honesty in your communication. This is the art of expressing Lilith truths through Venus delivery, allowing you to be completely authentic without being unnecessarily harsh or alienating. The formula is simple but powerful. Begin with genuine acknowledgement or appreciation, Venus. State your truth or boundary clearly, Lilith. Then offer a bridge or solution that honors both parties, Venus again. This structure allows you to be completely honest about your needs, feelings, or limits while maintaining connection and respect. For example, if someone consistently interrupts you in meetings, instead of either staying silent, Venus only, or snapping at them, Lilith only, you might say, I really value your insights, and I can see you are excited about this topic. I would also appreciate being able to finish my thoughts before we move to the next point. Would you be willing to help me with that? This communication style is revolutionary because it eliminates the victim-aggressor dynamic that usually accompanies boundary setting. You are not attacking the other person or martyring yourself. You are simply stating reality with grace and asking for cooperation. Most people respond positively to this approach because it honors their dignity while protecting your own. Practice this formula in various situations. When declining invitations you do not want to accept, when negotiating terms that matter to you, when addressing behavior that crosses your boundaries, or when expressing opinions that might be unpopular. The key is genuine appreciation followed by clear truth, followed by collaborative solution seeking. The third practice involves cultivating what can be called sacred self-sourcing. To emit the frequency of worth and desire that attracts what you truly want, you must first fill yourself with that energy. This practice teaches you to become the source of the pleasure, beauty, and attention you seek from others. Create a ritual space where you will not be interrupted for at least 30 minutes. Your intention is to honor both the Venus and Lilith aspects of your nature through conscious self-pleasure and self-appreciation. This is not about sexuality, though it can include that. This is about reclaiming your right to experience pleasure for its own sake. Begin by creating beauty around you, Venus. Light candles, play music that makes you feel elegant and alive. Use luxurious textures or scents that delight your senses. Prepare a special drink or food that feels like pure indulgence. Focus on the aesthetic pleasure of your environment. Then invite your Lilith energy into the experience. Turn off all notifications and external demands. If you feel moved to dance, dance with complete abandon, not to look good, but to feel the pleasure of your body in motion. Eat or drink with full attention to taste and sensation, without guilt or restriction. Touch your skin with appreciation for its sensitivity and aliveness. The goal is to experience pleasure that comes entirely from your own choices and attention, not from external validation or achievement. This practice rewires your nervous system to understand that you are inherently worthy of pleasure and beauty. You do not need to earn it, perform for it, or wait for someone else to provide it. When you regularly fill yourself with self-sourced pleasure and appreciation, you become infinitely more magnetic. People are drawn to those who are already full, already satisfied, already complete within themselves. You stop emanating the needy energy that repels and start radiating the abundant energy that attracts. As you integrate these practices, you will notice profound shifts in every area of your life. Your relationships will either deepen into greater authenticity or naturally conclude if they were based on your former self-abandonment. Your professional life will reflect your increased self-worth through better opportunities, increased respect, or the courage to pursue work that truly aligns with your values. Your creative expression will become more bold and authentic as you stop filtering your truth through others' expected reactions. Your physical health may improve as you release the stress of constant people-pleasing and boundary violation. Your spiritual connection will deepen as you embrace all aspects of your nature, rather than rejecting the parts that society deems unacceptable. This transformation is not always comfortable. Integrating Venus and Lilith means accepting both your light and your shadow, your sweetness and your fire, your desire to connect, and your need for sovereignty. You may face resistance from others who preferred your smaller, more manageable self. You may feel afraid of your own power as it emerges from its hiding places. Remember that this fear is natural and temporary. You have been conditioned to believe that feminine power is dangerous, that your full authenticity is too much, that your desires and boundaries make you selfish or difficult. These beliefs are not true, but they run deep in the collective consciousness and may surface as you reclaim your integrated power. The Venus-Lilith Trine offers you cosmic support for this reclamation. The universe is literally conspiring to help you remember and embody your full feminine power. Trust the process, even when it feels overwhelming. Trust your instincts, even when they contradict social expectations. Trust your worth, even when others challenge it. This is not a temporary transit effect that will fade when the planets move on. This is an initiation into a new way of being that you can choose to maintain and develop for the rest of your life. The cosmic alignment simply opens the door, but you must choose to walk through it and continue walking the path of integrated authenticity. Your magnetism is not a tool for manipulation or control. It is the natural radiance that emerges when you stop hiding your truth and start living it fully. It attracts what is meant for you and repels what is not, creating a life that reflects your authentic values and desires rather than your fears and conditioning. The ancient feminine magic returning through this transit is your birthright. You do not need to earn it or prove yourself worthy of it. You simply need to remember it, claim it, and express it through your choices, your words, your gaze, and your presence in the world. As this powerful energy moves through your life over the coming days and weeks, pay attention to the opportunities for integration that present themselves. Notice where you can choose authentic expression over people-pleasing, where you can set loving boundaries instead of resentful compliance, where you can speak your truth with grace instead of hiding it in fear. The world needs your integrated feminine power now more than ever. It needs women who can be both strong and soft, both fierce and loving, both independent and connected. It needs the medicine of graceful honesty, sovereign beauty, and authentic magnetism that you carry. Step fully into this cosmic gift. Let yourself be seen in your complete magnificence. Trust that those who are meant to appreciate your full authenticity will find you, and those who cannot handle your integrated power will make space for better alignments. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable with your transformation. Your job is to honor the ancient magic awakening within you and let it transform your life from the inside out. The Venus-Lilith Trine is your invitation to stop choosing between being loved and being powerful, and to discover that your greatest love and your deepest power come from the same source, your courage to be completely and unapologetically yourself.